Dustin Nickerson on the Adam Carolla Show.
Good to see you, Dustin. Well, heat his mic up. There we go.
Am I on? Yeah.
You're on. You're hot. Dustin's got a bunch of live dates. Washington, D.C., the D.C. Improv. That'll be June 10th and 11th. And then, it says through the 11th, but that'll be 10th and 11th, right?
Probably.
All right.
Makes sense.
10 and a
Mic
half.
Drop Comedy Club in San Diego. I think we're going out there at some point, July 1st through the 2nd. And then,
He doesn't stop for 24 hours.
Zany's,
nonstop.
Zany's Comedy Club in Chicago, Illinois. That'll be the July 6th through the 7th.
Very good.
And then Zany's Comedy Club, wait a minute. Oh, Rosemont, Illinois. And that'll be July 8th through the 9th. Good to see you, Dustin.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is not to get too fanboy here, but big fan for a long time.
Really?
I remember being like a middle schooler myself, following that bit and listening, and then watching you on Loveline because it was on MTV there, and I'd be like, man, these young adults got some problems. This is not a good advertisement for young 20s.
Where were you listening?
So I would watch it. So I grew up in South Seattle area. So you syndicated on the radio show a few years later at 107.7 The End, the alternative rock station.
Right.
So I would listen to that driving into work. Before that was, I think, the MTV Loveline years when you were actually on TV, when people watched TV and watched MTV specifically.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, what MTV was,
The tastemaker.
what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know really the status of MTV.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all reality shows.
Yeah.
It's as best I can tell. There's the only show that's ever on when I skim past it is that skater guy who watches the videos.
Yeah, Rob or something.
Yeah, and it's called
yeah.
like, you did what? And then it's a guy, getting T-boned by while he's trying to ride a unicycle in an above ground pool on a plank, and then they just cut back to them going, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
and he's got his hat on, kind of askew, and
there's something really interesting psychologically happening with media where it's like Tosh was like, well, really, America's Funniest Home Videos was the first one. That was the original YouTube, right?
Right.
But there was commentary and jokes on it. And now the internet is flooded and TV is flooded with literally just reactions.
Yes.
It's like they want to share it with somebody, but they don't want to make a friend.
Right. It's ridiculousness is what it is.
Yeah.
And they just show someone eating shit on a mountain bike, and then they come back and they go, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And then they move on to the next
At least
clip.
back in your day, you would sit and you would learn about some young man that had herpes.
Right.
That's
and
right.
I always wondered if I'm way off track here, but so on the in-studio show, right, they could go ask live questions and they were kind of like blurred out. Veiled, right? But everyone in the studio knew who it was, right? Didn't they see him go into the anonymous mystery box and then come back and it was like, oh, that guy's got worms. That guy...
Yes. Yeah, I was befuddled as well. But we started off with some sort of weird, stupid name, sort of mystery zone shower curtain thing where people could ask questions. They would also, I think they would get the producers. Sometimes at the very beginning, they would try to cook questions where they'd get these segment producers or lower level APs or whatever, and they'd go call in, go ask a question. And Drew and I always hated it because the second you get that feeling that this isn't happening to this person, you're immediately... You're like a lawyer who's think about taking a case on contingency, and then you go, I slipped in the Gelsons, and you're like, I don't think you did that.
How about as a practical matter, just what happens when we ask a follow-up?
Yeah.
This is what always would happen. They go, I had sex with, my best friend's dad. And then you'd go, you did? When did you do that? And they'd go, oh, I don't know. It was like they didn't have their next lie cooked up, and it always bumped us.
I love the idea that it's producers stirring up a good story.
Yes.
Like they were America's Got Talent for STDs.
Right.
That's
what it is.
Like how can is this got a good story? Okay, we'll go put this on air.
Yeah, it was always, there was a couple of things about that show, which is we kind of knew what we were doing because we did the radio version of it. And then we got onto MTV and they had to sort of MTV up it, and they were constantly looking to kind of goose it up. And for instance, they were like, you need a good-looking, sassy chick to sit in between the two of you. And we were like, nah, we don't do it that. That's not what the show is. And they're like, it is now. And every single girl they had, and some of them were good, they only lasted one season. And then they'd come to us and go, well, the idea is good, but we just didn't get the right girl. And I'd go, no, she was good. It's just a bad idea. And they go,
how about leaving the jokes to Adam?
Right. She was the original, right?
And was that far? Or was that Keitlinger?
That was Laura Keitlinger.
Wow.
Laura Keitlinger did it. Catherine McCord, Diane Farr. Chris McGaha.
Aha!
Do you remember someone named
No.
Chris McGaha?
I don't know.
All
Magaha? It sounds
Chris
like a
McGaha
version of martial
was like
arts.
a blonde Magaha. It sounds like a strain.
yeah. Oh, he's got him in the Magaha. You can't break the Magaha.
Or he's a fifth degree practitioner of Magaha.
Wait, the dude, Chris McGaha?
No.
There's a dude, Chris
Well,
McGaha.
these days, it's
Never
been
know.
20 years.
Actually, no, I think Magaha, I think that's a comedy club outside of Baltimore.
McGahas.
Justin will be there June 8th.
Yeah, through the 11th. It's a marathon
Oh,
set.
a lovely blonde lady.
Yes,
Okay.
that was her. And
There you go.
there she is. I have no idea what she's up to. But enough about me, Dustin. So how do you get from youth pastor to stand-up comedy?
Oh, I mean, that's how bad that job was. And I was like, let's try stand-up comedy. How about that? No, the reality was I didn't, the job has its strains, but you meander, right? Like in those early, I had a very late start to stand up. I was 27. I had 2 kids and I just showed up at my open mics all of a sudden with these degenerate 19, 20-year-olds. And
Your wife must have been over the moon.
well, not at first. It was almost like a bucket list thing. Yeah, that's fine. You've always wanted to do that. I'm a 90s kid. When Comedy Central used to only play stand-up comedy specials. I've been in love with stand-up since I was a kid. It's the only thing that's ever made sense to me. And so reality is I had a few different jobs. And they were all I started off in sports journalism, and then I was I was in churches, and so I was like, well, maybe I'll go this route. But honestly, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to have a platform to talk about things.
We got one of those.
Yeah. The a lot of thoughts, not a lot of prayers.
Yeah.
It was the line on yesterday's episode,
wow.
right? Yeah. Come
Was
on,
it
guys.
a very religious? Did you come from a religious family?
No. I was raised by single dad, redneck in South Seattle, but my family, his kin hail from rural Oregon, which is
wow.
where all the rednecks are on the
The Eamon Bundy crew.
Exactly. Yeah. So the very confusing childhood in that sense, very liberal city, very rednecky home, but he worked for the union. He was best friends with the gay neighbor, and we had guns. I was like, what are we? We don't really fit a box here, which is great. I'm so thankful for it. But we weren't religious at all. As a matter of fact, my sister was baptized into the Catholic Church, and I wasn't. And I'm like, what happened there? What happened 3 years before? You guys became atheists between the first and the second child? Right. But it was in high school where I just had a friend that I would skate with, and he had a car, so he was a good friend to skate with, because when you skate, you have to skate to that location. Right. And he had a car, and he invited me to church one day, and I got there, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are so much nicer here. All the adults are kind, and the kids seem to be nice, and they all encourage each other to make good decisions. This is a lot better than high school. So that was kind of how I stuck. I was like, yeah, dunk me in whatever waters. This is nice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm an atheist, but I love religious people, and it's sort of got this weird. I think some of it'll fold into the trying times we're living in. I've said many, many times this sort of absence of religion, while many people in this town and many family members I had growing up would applaud that, I don't think it's great, big picture, not from a society. It's not it's kind of up there with, you don't need a dad around the house. A mom can do like these sort of conventions. They're there for a reason. They've been there for a reason. The saying I always like is if, you don't believe in, if you don't believe in something, you'll believe in anything. A lot of folks I know with a lot of their cockamamie ideas are all atheists, and they've just sort of shifted into the environment or whatever things. There's a new religion which has essentially replaced it.
Yeah.
And I'm down with religious people.
You'd rather live next to Ned Flanders than Homer Simpson.
I abso-fucking-lutely would. Sorry.
Absolutely.
And listen, if you want
You mean my cartoon doppelganger?
Right.
Is this why I'm on the show?
And, if you want to bring up the Crusades, fuck yourself. I'm so tired of people. Well, what about 7,000 years ago? Like, okay, I get it. I get it. It's right up there with indigenous people and the land and stuff. Fine.
Yeah,
it's
and cities burn when the Red Wings lose, too. We don't talk about getting rid of hockey. You know, like people are idiots, and they'll use whatever thing they want. And I think you're exactly right. You take one religion out, you replace it with a new one. It's any religion. Wokeism is a religion. I mean, they have their leaders, they have their tenets of belief, they have their gatherings. They go, that's it. We're all doing the same thing.
Everything is
CrossFit's a religion.
Yes. But here's the whole thing, and then this is kind of my thing: is I don't really care if you're born again Christian, and I don't really care if you're a devout vegan. You just need to shut the fuck up. That's, same rules apply to both.
Fair.
And we'll get along, and it'll be fine, and I'll respect your beliefs in your space. But I've just found, basically, religious people. I grew up being fed a steady diet of, religion is horrible and the people are horrible and everyone's a hypocrite, and then conversely, rich people are bad, rich people are horrible, rich people are whatever. As I get older, I exclusively want to hang out with rich people and religious people. They're so much fucking better.
You want to hang out with megachurch pastors.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What's the dude that was best friends with Justin Bieber? I just watched that documentary.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the...
kind of hot guy, but kind of fell.
Yeah, I forget. I'm bad at knowing that. I don't know the culture
Can
of it
I hang out with the guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's much more accessible now, I think, that he was ousted.
Very, very attractive man.
Very cute guy, yeah.
Well, we'll try to find this fella, and I can. I
know exactly what you're talking about.
Clark Kent.
It's Clark Kent.
That's right.
Actually,
Clark Kent.
Well,
Pastor Clark Kent.
He and they, and it was just this. I have found that the way they raise their kids, or the sort of neighbors they make, or the way they conduct themselves, or what have you, as long as it's not obnoxious, I tend to think they make better neighbors, like Gina said. I'm all for it, and I would rather have that in our society. Carrie Lentz?
Carl Lentz.
Carl Lentz.
Oh, Carl.
From Hillsong, the Hillsong Church.
Carl Lentz.
He's like, look at that guy.
Yeah.
He has those like
the
dick abs.
Ab. Yeah. I could hang with him.
Yeah. He's like super, super cool guy, fashionable, like mega church leader. Like all the celebrities love him. Like I think he got Justin Bieber like back on the right track. All good. Yeah. But he also, and he was a zealot for preaching about abstinence. Like that was his thing. So guess what?
Not if you put that picture out.
Guess what he struggled with in his personal life.
Right.
So he had
adultery.
a wife and kids, and was really a lady in every port.
Yeah, you can't look that good and expect not to bang strangers. That's
the more you know.
That's actually a quote box. That's
yeah. All right, and so is he ousted from his mega church?
Have you finished the doc? I'm pretty sure he's out.
I don't know.
Fucking people welcome anybody back.
Yeah, I tend not to be. I stay out of those headlines. So I don't trust any pastor that is cool. Just like I don't trust dads that are in shape.
Gina, so are you kind of saying I got to get back to hanging with the Bikram yoga guy now?
Oh yeah, he's. I think he's ripe for forgiveness.
Yeah,
remember him?
He's due
Bikram?
The Bikram yoga guy.
He was Bikram.
I don't know this one.
Is it Bikram? I thought it was Bikram.
Or Bikram, whatever. But that was his name.
Yeah, he started all these yoga studios.
Okay.
You've heard of Bikram yoga?
Sure.
Like hot yoga.
Yeah.
He evidently got a little handsy with some of the young clients and students and instructors, I
Yeah.
guess. Bit of a hard ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a great interview, I think, Chris and Emmy, where he's talking to, I don't know, Diane Sawyer or someone from 60 Minutes. It's like trying to bust his chops
Yeah.
about sexual harassment. And he announces that whoever it is he sexually harassed should pay for his seed. It's an awesome. It is a great.
my
It's
gosh.
a great clip. There's another doc to watch, and it turns out like 23-year-old runaway chicks who want to be yoga instructors are just prime for the picking when it comes to the predators. You know what I mean?
I love that we went from megachurch pastor, and then that's where your brain immediately went, hey, speaking of handsy people with power grabs manipulating vulnerable people, that reminds me of this guy.
He had hair like Steven Seagal
That's
from
right.
the early 2000s. We'll play the clip, but he's a national treasure.
Sarah,
Thinks highly of himself.
Jill Lawler, Maggie Genthner. They felt sexually violated by you.
Okay. Lie, lie, and lie. I don't need to do that.
Rape or sexually assault.
Sexual assault. If I need women, I can make a line, the most beautiful, famous, rich women in the world. If I have to sleep with women, then I have to sleep, 5,000 girls every day.
5,000 women a day want to sleep with you?
Yeah. They commit suicide. 4 of them.
You're saying that 4 different women
4 different women.
each killed themselves because you wouldn't have sex
All
with them.
died. Why I have to harass women? People pay $1 million for 1 drop of my sperm.
Oh my.
I can make $1 million
Worst smoothie ever.
a day, every drop.
Bee pollen,
You
wheatgrass.
and that idiot are dumb.
Wait, rewind
You need
that.
Jamba
those-
Juice, any add-ons?
This is Real Sports or
Real sports.
Yeah, and that's who's
Andrea Kramer.
Andrea Kramer. There you go. Yeah, sorry. I want to hear the spend $1 million for a drop. Jesus Christ, I've been charging $750K for mine. I'm leaving fucking money on the table here, people.
You're working harder.
Why am I trying to sell books, man? I really
Yeah.
went down the wrong path here.
That's right. Just get my milk and gloves and bucket over there. Sorry.
Sperm. I can make $1 million a day, every drop. You and that.
I'm concerned that it only comes a drop.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you really did the 10cc math, there's several drops. So
Yeah.
he's talking
He
about
parcels them out to
Yeah.
different ladies.
yeah, he's talking about 25, 30 million an episode.
I like to think that actually a PR team did craft that message for him. Hey, we're going to go outside the box here.
Yeah.
Normally we go the I'm so sorry route. I'm a changed man. Just double down. Maybe that'll convince him.
Or maybe it ironically started because he must have a publicist where
Yeah.
they talked to Andrea Kramer beforehand and said he doesn't want to talk about his daughter. She's a little overweight, so that's a no. That's a no-fly zone.
Oh, good
Yeah,
news. I
yeah.
wasn't planning on asking.
All
Yeah.
right. Anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, maybe the PR team showed him the bill and he offered to pay in sperm.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, we can do an exchange of goods here.
Right.
Maybe some services.
I'll
for-
sometimes tip that way if I haven't been drinking too much.
Yeah.
If the valet gets tired of waiting. That argument, Emmy, is right up there. The argument. So I couldn't have raped these women because there's a line of 5,000 women waiting to blow me on a daily basis. So how could I have done this, or
Right.
why would I have done this? So you're accusing Ben and Jerry of Ben and Jerry's. You stole that ice cream from the Thrifties, didn't you, old man? Like, why would I do that? I have a giant factory. Like, that's his argument?
Right, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Except
You're
for with sperm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Instead of the chunky monkey. But Ron Jeremy's attorney made that same argument.
really?
Oh, how'd it work for him?
Really?
We showed it here.
That's right.
He went.
forgot
And I'll
about
ask
that.
again.
He went on the steps of the courthouse
Yeah.
and he basically went, why would Ron Jeremy need to rape anyone? He's Ron.
Nobody
Jeremy.
needs to.
He's paid to have sex.
Nobody
you know what I mean?
needs to. That's the best point ever. Nobody has to
Thank
do
you.
this.
Yes.
Nobody's like, if I don't do this, my whole family dies.
That's right.
What
That's
choice
right.
did I have here? That's
Yes,
very
but
funny.
his argument was his client was tired of having sex where he would get paid to have sex. Why? In fact, here he is.
This guy.
And then maybe we could get him, this attorney, to represent the Bikram yoga guy.
Smart.
Everyone knows who Ron Jeremy is. He's been with over 4,000 women the past 40 years, and he claims he's running ahead of Wilt Chamberlain in that arena. There's absolutely no reason for him to ever be aggressive with women. He's had more women than you can count. He's absolutely innocent of the charges. It's not a close call.
Why does your lawyer sound like a hype man? He's getting him 4,000. He's about to pass Wilt on the all-time list. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he didn't work in the pay for the semen part, but it was implied.
Well, we've seen it.
How about Andrea Kramer, the look on her face? When
5,000 a day?
4 women killed themselves because you wouldn't have sex with them.
You know,
I've had women kill themselves after sex.
Sure. Yeah.
But never.
Less of a flimsy argument.
Yeah.
they're definitely. Or one may have taken
Yeah.
another one out, or maybe in a murder-suicide.
You know it's a good TV appearance when you watch it and you go, oh, he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's case closed. We
Yeah.
can skip the trial.
Anyway, I don't know
good
why
stuff.
those two memories sit in my head, but as a former youth pastor, you probably know firsthand.
Any scandal that we should know about? Get out in front of?
No, not that I know about. But, you know, when people, it reminded me of the, you remember the Ted Haggard one? Ted Haggard was a big one, and he was
sinned?
so blatantly homophobic.
Was he the one who sinned, or was that
He was the
somebody
one
else?
that
or who was
like
crying and
woke up with like a male
prostitute.
prostitute and some meth in his system.
Yeah.
Right.
And had been at like national prayer breakfasts and stuff beforehand, being like, well, if you're gay, God's going to get you eventually. And you're like, well, who saw this one coming? Except
Yeah.
literally everybody.
You can't protest too much. Here's your answer. Gene, ask me what I think about the gays.
So what do you think about
I don't
homosexuality?
know, whatever. More pussy for me.
Oh, sounds good to me.
But if the answer is like, a man lays down with another man, he may lay down with a beast.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
beast, I tell you.
Oh,
then
what a
it's too-
terrible thought, those two men lying down together.
Sweaty
Yeah.
and coiled.
And you know, most of them have that deep groove, that V that goes
Yeah.
down to the
Yeah.
pubic line and the six-pack abs.
Disgusting.
I've seen them in Cult Roundup.
Yeah.
And
Just thinking,
many of the
never
other
just the
publications that we
idea
don't
of
read.
Ted
Yes.
and me and Carl. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes.
Just two men.
buckets of water-soluble lube. The devil's tears, made from the devil's tears, that KY jelly, which will compromise a lambskin condom, by the way. Not
I'm sorry. How could you possibly
two
know that?
men laying down in
Right.
sweaty sin.
That's in Leviticus 12.
But
That's
how
right.
would you know if a lube would compromise a lambskin condom?
I didn't say that.
That's exactly
said
what you said.
Two men laying down together is no different than laying down with the beast.
Right, but then after that you said this kind of lube will compromise the integrity of a lambskin
I
condom.
said, will not lay down with a man named Lou.
Oh.
That's what you
I
heard.
didn't hear it that way.
Sometimes you think they're booing Lou Piniella. They're not. Nope. No,
That was just for me a Seattle sports reference right
right.
there. Yeah. The great Lupinella.
Everyone's talking about Lou Piniella.
Oh, yeah. She's trending on Twitter right now.
Everyone's talking about
Every
the
day.
Bikram
Him throwing
yoga
second
guy.
base.
Oh, did he throw second base?
Oh,
That's
Lupinella
right.
has the all-time best meltdowns.
Yeah.
They were so over the top just for the sake of being the kick in the hat. He has one kick in his hat. He picked up
He
second
kicks it
base.
around
Oh,
the
yeah.
infield.
Is he very Joe McEnroe or John McEnroe
Well, he's
in his
probably
fits?
he's probably got a good 50 years on Mac. Yeah,
Yeah,
30 years on
yeah,
Mac.
yeah. It's
He
just
was-
so wonderful.
He
It's
was a Yankee, right? And then skipper.
I think he was he was a Red, wasn't he, when he played? Or
I think
don't-
he was a Yankee.
Oh, okay. Or
Oh,
maybe
we'll
he coached
find
the
out.
Reds too.
I'm
It
gonna say
doesn't.
both.
Yeah, I know him from his Seattle Mariner you
We
know,
could probably find a
in the
supercut
90s.
of the best of what's his face?
Of
kicking
Lou
his head,
Piniella. Lou
kicking his
Piniella
head,
meltdowns are
taking the
a
bass,
treat.
taking it into the dugout.
Well, that's what I talk about when, like, you hear, boomer types complain about, all the showmanship, all the showboating from all these
Right,
players.
right.
Like, have you been watching coaches do these fake meltdowns for the last 30, 40 years? It's all a circus. Just enjoy the show.
He was I knew him as a Yankee. I
Okay.
guess maybe he finished as a Royal or maybe he started as a Royal, but was he skippering?
Yeah, he was in the kind of the heyday of Mariners, which was never even really a heyday, but
Didn't
he
he
would.
win the World Series with the Reds?
Yeah, he was
think.
successful elsewhere. No one's really. You go to Seattle sports just to have your heart broken. That's just kind of our whole thing. But yeah, in the '90s, the Griffey years, the Jay Buhner years, he was the Randy Johnson years, our heyday.
Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez. There you go. Joey Cora. All the other people that are being talked about on Twitter right now.
He played for the Orioles, Indians, Royals, and Yankees. He managed the Yankees, the Reds, the Mariners, the Rays, and the Cubs as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he did the
Is he
Cubs
still
stint.
around? Is Lou Piniella still around?
I don't know.
78 years old.
78. Is he younger than Dusty Baker? Dusty Baker's still in the league.
Baker's still in the game.
Yeah. Everyone hated the Astros, so like we got to hire the most likable guy in baseball to clean it up a bit, to clean up the image.
When was he with the Royals?
I have no
was.
idea. Well, maybe we'll find a clip of him having a tantrum. I'll tell you guys, I'll buy you a couple seconds there, Amy. First, I'll tell you about Simply Safe. Amy's a chronic sleepwalker, lives near a 4-lane highway, and a few months ago, she sleepwalked right out the front door. Could have been hit by a car, but the Simply Safe entry sensor on her front door was triggered, and the 95 decibel siren went off at the base station, and she woke up before she wandered outside. Amy says Simply Safe saved her life. This is a great product, great company, started by a couple on their Ivy League campus many years ago. You don't have to pull wires, no techs coming to the house, backed by the best 24/7 professional monitoring in the business. Less than $1 a day, no long-term contract. You can try it out for 60 days, risk-free. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/Adam. Go today for a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/Adam. Lou Piniella pulling second base off, which takes a lot. Not since Ricky Henderson did it.
Yeah,
That's right.
back in the day.
yeah.
I think he walks off the field with it.
He's angry. He's pointing. I don't know what trying to think. He's a Cub at this point. Maybe. Looks like a Cub.
Yeah.
Manager.
Here comes Lou.
Big Lou. And he was a big guy, too.
He was a big guy.
And he throws hat
Yeah,
down.
kicks the
he
dirt.
kicks the hat immediately.
And he also had a big 10-gallon head on it,
Yes,
too, which
yeah.
is good.
Oh, the dirt,
and
the
just
dirt.
absolute red in the face.
It's good for arguing. That
Nose to
huge
nose.
Yeah.
cabeza,
Does
you know?
anyone do the dirt on the shoes anymore?
It seems like a trope.
It's all. That's what I'm saying. This is WWE. It's all a show.
He's face to face with the guy. People are
They're throwing their hats. The kicking.
Look at that big guy.
Lou's kicking more dirt. He's still angry. Oh! Kicked his own hat.
That's a good air on that thing.
He got a lot of lift on that hat.
Yeah.
Now he's
All the umps.
refs
Yes.
and the umps have surrounded him. Here comes Lou.
Yes. The Lou.
I told you it's not always boo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're
I just
looing
assumed
him.
they were booing. Okay.
No, that's the
it's
home team.
It's Lou. And he's not done. He's
Uh-oh.
making his way to
He's
second
going
base.
towards this. He's just milking it, right?
More dirt.
That was the hat kick. They love it. What a showman.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I
they're
like
going
about
crazy.
baseball, too, is it's about most of these plays come down to a millisecond. Like the
Yeah.
guy didn't tag up on third, but the ball was 4 inches from
Yeah.
the mid of the outfield. Like That's enough for an argument, but a full mental breakdown over the guy's foot slid in right under the tag, or it was sort of you see it on replay 9 times and you still can't really tell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why are you having a full meltdown over a coin toss?
Oh yeah, the hardest job in the world. Just I have a buddy who's a major league umpire, and it's so hard to even get the job. They're so, and then they go up with the players. Like they start in AAA, and like based on how well they're doing, they make their way up. So these are the most qualified people to do this in the world. They have to make like hundreds of calls a game. It's like you said, they just missed by like 1 millisecond, and you're 75 feet away. You're like, no, I got it right.
Right.
Let me tear this man to
Well, the real question, Chris and Emmy, is what was the call? I mean, it seemed like it took place on third base. I don't know.
It was ball 1.
Yeah, it was ball 1. All right.
It was actually, they called the ceremonial first pitch a ball.
Lou
So
was
he didn't even make it to the opening pitch.
running out of the dugout. All right, Dustin's going to hang with us. We'll see if we can figure out what led to that meltdown, and we'll do the news right after this.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, some sad news. Actor Ray Liotta has died at the age of 67. Liotta's publicist told CNN that Ray was working on a project in the Dominican Republic called Dangerous Waters when he passed. He went into sleep. He is survived by his daughter Carson, fiance JC Natolo. Now, just a little bit of I guess, fun facts, for lack of a better word.
JC Natola's got to be quite a bit younger and probably attractive.
Have you seen the picture?
No,
you're right.
I've not. I'm doing the kind of older star.
She's
math.
very fetching, yes.
Because I'm
Fetching.
She's all of a sudden
choice.
on her own.
Yeah.
Thinking maybe the Bikram yoga guy could pick up the pieces. A shoulder to cry on.
I mean, I'd like to think she could do
Give
better.
her a break.
Yeah.
Like for you, $500K a load.
And
whole load?
free membership to the gyms.
That's right. It's my grieving widow's price.
Grieving Widow special.
You've heard of military discounts, family discounts.
Bereavement.
Yeah, this is the bereavement
Now, I got
break.
this card. You'll punch it like at a sub shop.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the 11th load is free.
Right. Yeah, she is 47. Very pretty lady. And hopefully she does better than Bikram.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. Liotta, was born in Newark and was adopted by son of Alfred and Mary Liotta. And we know him obviously from Goodfellas and Field of Dreams. But a lot of us big Sopranos fans remember him currently from The Many Saints of Newark. He played himself and his brother. Yeah, he played the main character and the main character's brother, which was pretty cool.
We have Lou throwing a base, but I want to know what led to Lou having the meltdown still. But go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Kevin Spacey back in the news for exactly the reason you think he is.
Killed Ray Liotta.
Yes, facing more
K-Pack sequel.
facing more sexual assault charges. No, you didn't.
Well, it was okay.
Yeah.
The end of that movie was such a steaming pile of dog shit. But okay. K-Pax.
Yeah, K-Pax.
More sexual assault charges, this time in the UK, where he's accused of assaulting 3 men. He's 62 now, by the way. His career hit a little snag in 2017 after more than a dozen men and teenage boys accused him of sexual harassment. He's now charged with 4 counts of sexual assault against 3 men in the UK. The first accuser claims he was assaulted by Spacey twice in London in 2005.
Hey, I got a controversial thought.
Oh, okay.
Emmy, you know why he was tossed during the cut, but I'm still looking for the play. If you're not looking for that.
Well, it looks like we have it.
But I have thoughts about Spacey as well, so we'll see. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, that play isn't on YouTube, Adam, but the reason that he got mad was because a guy was trying to steal. There was a wild pitch thrown, so the guy, one of the runners, tried to steal, but because of the Wrigley's backstop or something, they were able to get the ball pretty quick and throw the guy out at third, and Lou was arguing that the ball bounced in the dirt first, and it shouldn't have counted, and that's why he was arguing a stolen base.
If it bounced in the dirt first, it's still a pass ball or wild
That's
pitch,
what I thought.
right?
Yeah, but
Maybe he thought it was a foul ball or something. Maybe
the ball
that was
bounced in the dirt before the tag was applied on Cubs outfielder Angel Pagan.
It's a weird description.
I think it sounds like a safe out call. Like he's saying the tag didn't get there in time or whatever.
Angel Pagan was the best name for a Giants outfielder. For many years.
That is a great name.
Angel Pagan.
I love a good baseball
not since
name.
Meat Vegan came through the league in the 70s. Like, Angel Pagan.
It's the whole swath.
Yeah, real
It's Pagan,
contrast
but
there.
I prefer Pagan.
Baseball has the best names, anyways.
Yeah, I don't think that Lou was arguing that it was a one-hopper before the guy applied the tag either.
He was just whether it was safe or out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
safe or out. You're
It
allowed
was really
to
weird.
take it on
Catch
the
any
hop.
number of events.
Any number of
Yeah.
ways.
I agree. Yeah,
That would make sense of why he would eventually rip up the bag, you know. Just,
The
and we have him throwing the base too.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's pretty.
we'll watch that. Yeah, you're right. This stuff took place a lot back in the day.
Out there at first base by Dutch Renard.
Dutch.
Pinella didn't think so, and he
It's a younger Pinella here.
Yeah,
Tony
spry
Perez.
Perella.
Renard has had enough. He throws
He hates
Pinella
his hat.
out of the game. Pinella says if he's out of the game,
Yes.
he's taking the first base with him, pulls it out of the ground and gives it a toss. Renard stood motionless there in the outfield.
He's picked up the base again.
Throws it again.
Throws it. He was kicked
Is
out
that
of the
part
game.
of the Highland Games?
What's wrong with this guy?
Shouldn't he be wearing a kilt? All right.
Oh, that's so good.
So,
What a showman.
theory on gay guys.
Oh,
I've worked with some. I've
Okay.
known a few.
Okay.
I've had a few gay friends.
so expert Adam Carolla on gay men.
There's, society may have frowned on, being gay and maybe it could have held you back in the military or with your stepdad or whatever. But one of the perks was you could be a little more handsy. Every gay guy knew was handsy, you know.
With guys?
You could kind of be handsy. Well, if
'Cause
he
you
was
can with
gay, if he was
ladies.
gay, for sure.
Yeah.
With the ladies, for sure. Just like how Italian guys speak with their hands.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Cuomo.
Gay guys they'll put your hand, they'll do it. So if you're gay and like you have I'll put it to you this way. If you're gay and you're at a gay nightclub or a gay bar or something and your waiter's gay, it's a good chance that guy may get a little
Oh my
handsier than
God.
you would if you went to the Morton Steakhouse
Sure.
and you had a female waitress. You wouldn't be kind of going,
I will sign off on
somebody's
that."
got a firm tummy. Like,
What do you think Bruno got away with on Dancing with the Stars?
right, yeah, Bruno.
Italian, the X right
You
there.
dropped a digit on me.
What do you think Bruno got away with in Bruno, the movie?
Yeah, so maybe some of these things are him just being him with guys he thinks or knows are gay, and
Right.
you
Well,
know,
yeah.
they can be a little handsier. Look, that's all.
I
I'm
think-
done with my defense of the gays. I
The
believe
gays
it's
or
like
Kevin?
laying down with a beast.
Sure.
By the way.
I do not, far be it from me to shit on your point, but I think one of the charges is non-consensual penetration.
With the hands.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
No, you might be right. That's a handshake. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Also,
yeah.
look, I am thankful that I was never a lech and I don't have these things, these
chickens coming home to roost.
well, more like a dream catcher made of grenades, and you never really know when it's going to blow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if you were that guy, male
Right.
or female, like that time at the Oscar after party when you kind of pulled the chick into the hallway there and got a little strong arm. Like,
Right.
you know what you kind of did, when you kind of did it. There's a few names and a few faces. How do you sleep at night? Because the internet's the Wild West, everything's out there. Everyone's can go find Gloria Allred or whatever. Like,
Right.
you just got to lay there just waiting for the next person to step up, right?
Whoopsie.
Right.
Good.
But there's such like it's such a celebrity thing to be so sociopathic about it too. Because remember when he did in character the let me be frank response, all these allegations were
The House of Cards thing.
and then he went and just made a video of him in character saying like very smugly just let me act. You know me. I'm kind of like this, and that's just full on sociopathic actor bait.
Above the
I don't
law.
think guys like that, especially older ones like that, they can't even fully comprehend the internet. That everything will bring you down eventually, because it used to not. You used to kind of have a closet full of skeletons, and right now the internet can bring down anyone.
No.
I wonder if the great actors, he's definitely a great actor. I wonder I'll base this loosely on my improv troupe days. The guys who did amazing characters that could just become a different person, they were kind of boring at dinner. You know, they didn't have a lot of themselves there. And the guys that were like themselves, like had a real strong sense of self, they couldn't get into the characters. There was too much of them there. If you can kind of dissociate and become these characters, like for me, I can't do horrible things to people because it's me. I was like too much of me and myself. Like, why would you do that to that person? But if I could kind of slip into all these different personalities and roles and characters, I wonder if that'd make it a little easier.
You're like, I'll act, but I'm going to be a boxer.
Yeah.
Real stretch.
The hammer, right.
Exactly.
Do something I used to do.
A real stretch.
Well, I'll try and get this video for tomorrow because I wasn't thinking about it and we got to find it. But because we've clearly developed a theme today. Did you hear about the Indiana pastor who came clean on, we call it the bema, the stage, the church.
With the young woman who was there.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to get out in front of that and
Do we have tape?
We'll do it tomorrow because I didn't even think to pull it for today. I didn't know this was going to be the theme.
When the Bikram guy comes clean, it's $1 million.
So I promise I'll have
if
that.
it has the word "come" in it, he charges you. That's how it. If you give him a "come hither" look, that's going to be $500K. If you're betting and it's on the come line, that's he'll charge you for that.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, craps.
That's a real thing.
Oh fuck yeah, it is. Best bet in the casino.
The cum line.
Now, speaking of craps, you will charge Jordan $50K for shit. Because
you're lucky to have mine.
You can mine some DNA out of that.
I can't believe you guys on network TV can call it a come from behind win. That one always kind of gives me the heebie-jeebs.
Yeah, I never thought
the
about
Hebrew-jeebers.
There's a don't come line if you're wrong way better.
Oh, really?
There is.
I don't know that much about craps. I just know there's a come line.
That's actually the best bet in the casino.
It is actually the best
The
bet.
don't come line?
But it's unpopular because you're betting against the shooter and that's the entire table.
And you have to shout it in a busy casino.
Yeah. And when your escort tells you to lay some money on, it's like, don't worry, I've been drinking pretty hard. It's going to take a while. But thanks for the heads up.
Odds are not in my favor.
You're definitely hot enough for the come now line, but I've been drinking.
Well, let's talk a little Colin Kaepernick. It's been a while. TMZ reports that he could be back in the NFL as early as next month as the quarterback has scheduled a workout with the Raiders. ESPN's Adam Schefter broke the news and reportedly he's trying out in just a few days.
He did already, I thought.
Oh, that's my alma mater, University of Washington. How about that?
Well, here's a clip of Kaepernick talking about this whole process.
Now, what's your message about getting back to the league after a few years?
I think more than anything, again, is where my skills are. The best way to tell is bring me in for a workout. Now, we have no expectations of what teams will do, but we just want the opportunity to walk in the door and show them what I can do. And I think my talent, my skill set will speak for itself.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I talked to Gergos 2 days ago, he literally, I don't want to name drop, but
Oh, go ahead.
I was doing Howie Mandel's podcast. Mm-hmm. He's got his big warehouse over there in Van Nuys. It's right next to the Van Nuys Airport. I was driving down, I don't know, Sherman Way and something or whatever's going by the Van Nuys Airport. And I saw the tail stab, the Gergos. You got the picture, Chris. I didn't take it, but when we were there, the big G&G emblazoned on the tail of the big boy jet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Where's it coming in
over
from?
there in Van Nuys. Well, it probably lives there when it's out here, whatever. And then he came in here 2 hours later and was leaving. And I said, where are you going? And he was like, I'm hopping on Big Boy. I'm going out of town. Can't say anything about
Parts
it,
unknown.
but you'll hear about it. And there it is. That's sunny.
Nice.
Except for we don't. Oh wait, is that Big Boy or Little Boy? Jesus Christ, that's probably Big Boy. We gotta get the tail stab though in there. It's got his shit emblazoned on there. Gotta suck for people who live in Van Nuys because if you live in Van Nuys, you are dirt poor and life sucks. But if you're going from place to place in Van Nuys, you will pass $100 million airplanes with people's initials in gold rainbow tape on the tail stab.
Yeah.
And you can dream all you want, just don't go over that fence, boy. Just stay on that side of that fence.
Inspiration from a distance.
That's right. You'll always be reminded because you live right in the flight path.
That's right.
Never a moment's rest.
Yeah, so I guess he was heading up and heading out, so we can talk to him about that when we can. Sorry, Gina.
Okay. Well, let's talk a couple of big auction stories. First of all, a federal judge has had to get involved with one of them. He's blocked a scheduled auction of the iconic dress worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz due to a disagreement over who owns it. This is very weird. And we're talking the blue and white gingham, the pinafore, you know the dress. So Dorothy's dress was expected to sell for more than $1 million at auction. But in 1973, the dress was given to a priest at Catholic University in Washington, D.C.
I wonder if the Bikram yoga guy barters. Like, I pay $1 million for the dress in exchange for some jizz, and then we could kind of keep it. We wouldn't get taxed on it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Government's going to get their piece.
Well, they can't wet their beak. I don't know.
It's the only way you can afford a home in LA right now.
Yeah.
Is, you got to do what you got to do.
The Bikram guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, $1 million.
So it was given to a priest at Catholic University. He died in 1986, and the university claims it's our dress now. But a woman in Wisconsin who says she's the niece of the priest was like, fuck that. He's our family member. It's my dress. It's our dress. So now they're suing, and a judge will hear the case in court next month to see, does the dress belong to the university? Does the dress belong to the family? And either way, I guess everyone's trying to offload it.
Well, there's going to be a lot more of this to come because stuff wasn't really, there's no Ring doorbells back then. Like stuff wasn't really authenticated and documented and memorialized. And then people did a lot of, Steve McQueen, he didn't have a tip for the valet, so he gave him his watch, and then that he says it's his, but the McQueen family says he had no business giving that away. So be a lot of he said, she said, with almost no documentation. Now everything is $1 million, and it's going to come with a certificate of authentication, and everyone's going to have everything documented. But back then, it was like whatever famous movie, like we're done with this garment or this thing. Here, you take it.
Think about Elvis's hair. They swept it up from the floor, and it's like, here's hair.
Now, this one I'm sure you've heard about. It's a couple of days old, but very much worth mentioning. Mercedes-Benz set a new world record for the most expensive car sold at auction. The German automaker sold one of two road-legal 1955 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe prototypes. Did I say that right? Ever made. Any guesses what it went for if you don't already know?
Well, I know what it went for, but these guys can guess. And Chris, you can find, I don't know what we're doing, but when I did my first rich white guy race at
colloquially
they don't call it that. They call it Winter Nationals or something, or Winter Speed Days.
Winter Speed Days.
But the street name is that,
Yeah, we know it is. Yeah.
Winter's code for white.
Yeah, there's a scientific name for Molly, but we just call it Molly at the park. At
the park.
So I went there, and I was there with Matt, the moderator, and whatever, and it's an event that they would do at Laguna Seca. They would do it during the off week, not a race week, and all it was is you pay them like $5,000 or whatever it was, and everyone, you just bring whatever car you want to bring, and we'll have the track, and there's no dB requirement, meaning there's no sound problems. Sometimes they'll do races that go, you can't be over 110 dBs or whatever. It'll be wide open, and we'll have the paddock and whatever. And so people show up, rich white guys show up, and they bring their cool cars. And I brought a Newman Z car. And there are guys with like Ferrari GTOs and stuff, and not a ton of them, but the Ferrari GTO is $50 million or whatever. But I was like walking through the paddock, and this car was there, and they were out on the track with it. Wow. Now it's not like a full blown race, like door to door. It's just you go out and he goes out, and you guys will be out together. Right. And I said, there's Ferrari GTOs and super expensive cars here, but I said, this is the most expensive car here, right? And the guys who had it we're like, yeah, it is, but it's not for sale. It's from the Mercedes Museum. We're like the curators of the car. Wow. But I guess they put it up for sale, so now you guys can guess.
They did, yeah.
I guess the
how
most
much would you say?
expensive, $100 million.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. What, 75 million?
142 million.
Wow.
The vehicle reached a top speed of 180 miles per hour and was originally made for driving in races. And here's where things get a little sticky. But the company didn't make any more after one of them crashed at the 1955 24 Hours of Le Mans race, flipped into the stands, killed 83 people. 83. Mercedes-Benz says the car was sold to fund educational and research scholarships in the areas of environmental science and decarbonization for young people.
Is that air intake on the hood? What is that bump?
Yeah.
The car is haunted.
For sure.
Mercedes dropped out of racing for like 50 years after the 83-person spectator death at Le Mans.
I love the idea of someone going to that race with like an 2011 Accord, just for fun. Just,
I don't know if it would pass scrutineering, which is one of my favorites.
Is that the official?
That's what I love to do.
It's like Disney
It's
Imagineering.
not even a stick. It's an automatic.
I take judgment to the next level. I'm into scrutineering. But they had a lot of rules. But there's a weird story about, and maybe we'll get into it tomorrow, but the guy in 1955 who's going to drive this car, they had multiple drivers, maybe two drivers at the time. It's a 24-hour race. Now they might have 3, even 4 drivers, but then they just had 2 drivers for 24 hours. And one of the guys was an older driver, and he ran Le Mans a few times. He didn't have a bunch of success. And I think he was German or French. I can't remember. It was important back then to have like your countrymen drive the car.
Right.
So you didn't, if you were Ferrari, you wanted an Italian guy driving the Ferrari. That's the way we did it. Later on.
Ken Miles said, fuck that.
Yeah. Later on, they're like, fuck it. Let's just get the best driver for the best car. But it was like important to speak the language and be of the ethnicity of the whatever. And so they let this guy drive. They wanted to put the German guy, and the guy, tested in the car and stuff, and he was like, it's too fast. Like, I'm scared of this car. And they're like, you can do it. You know what I mean? You're German. We want to get a German guy. There's another guy that's like better qualified, but he's English or he's French or something. We need a German guy. And then, or whatever the nationality they needed for the car. And then he's coming around, and some Austin Healy or something slows down in front of him, and he hits him, goes into the stands. The car was all magnesium, and magnesium burns. It's a weird metal it'll burn, and it just burns and just flies. Just like taking a volcano and putting it on its side and having it just erupt right into the stands. Hey, they killed. Oh, they don't know, but it's like maybe 80 something.
That was this car.
People died. That was the sister car to that car. And this is us. We took a picture of this thing at the rich white guy race at Laguna Seca, because I'm like, Ferrari GTO, that's $65 million, but I think this thing's more. And I guess we took some pictures of it.
It literally looks like a bullet.
Mm-hmm. I probably could have got it then for like $110 million.
Yeah.
I should have fucking
made an offer.
Huge investment
now,
there.
buddy.
Man.
Yeah, like, I'll give you my car and then another $109.5 million.
Yeah. I've got some of this Berkram guy's semen. How much does that go for in
I'm
the car
gonna leave
exchange?
the helmet in the car. We'll just go ahead and add that on. And I think there's a jack in there somewhere. Yeah, I remember.
It's 2013.
2013, yeah.
Yeah,
now
this is a 53. The other one that sold it's a 55.
Oh, the note. I mean, the reality is, and this is how rich people get richer.
Let me get a pen.
The reality is
you're rich already.
You probably could have bought this car. What was that? 2013. 13. You could have got for $97 million, and then you go, how the hell could you do that? And it's like, well, you just made 30.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Right. Yeah.
That's how rich people.
Right.
That's how rich people.
That's
work.
what they always say with like sports teams. Every time one sells, you're like, I
Right.
can't believe that
$2 billion.
they're worth $2 billion.
Right.
You know, when Ballmer bought the Clippers or whatever, they're like that's the most unbelievable price. It's up like 30% in 3 years or whatever.
Yeah, there's footage of the Lamar crash, or we
boy.
can watch Lou Piniella.
Similar rage.
But yeah, it was a crazy. I don't know. And then I think there's the whole lore of the whole curse of the whatever, because I think the guy who was in the car who got hit, maybe he lived and then died later in a car crash or something. There's a whole sort of
a little
but everyone
mystery
used to
behind
die in car crashes back then. They didn't really have
Right.
any safety. So then Mercedes pulled out for years and years and years, and then this is some of their crazy stuff. All right.
Well, can we please bid adieu to possibly the most iconic thing in New York City that you didn't realize was the most iconic thing in New York City? Of course, we got the Statue of Liberty. We got all that great stuff. But the final public payphone.
The mattress
has been,
store.
No, I thought it was the
has
M&M
been
factory.
removed. No, in Times Square.
Yeah.
The bank of two phones was on 7th Avenue and 50th in Midtown Manhattan. And as you might expect, graffiti just all over it, totally vandalized. The city began removing all the payphones in 2015. I think we have video of it, and replacing them with public Wi-Fi hotspots. The removal marks the end of the payphone era in the city, except for some private payphones on public property and 4 permanent, full-length, so-called Superman booths. And here it is.
Sure, this isn't one of those Republican plots that Democrats can't call people during
No.
election day.
That's
right. It smells. AOC said that there was something to that. I want to look into that.
And didn't we learn at some point that African Americans don't have cell phones?
They don't have they only use payphones.
Right.
Gentrification right there.
That's right. Even though the usage has gone way down, city officials say that public pay telephones were still being used for regular calls and long distance calls.
Yeah, drug deals.
Drug deals. Yeah. We know. Let's
right.
be realistic here.
So
We'll
goodbye.
play you the Lamar crash. So you guys
boy.
can
Oh, great.
Way to
see
go
what
out.
it
We'll leave
looks
on a
like.
high note.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well,
Yes,
most
please.
of those people will be dead by now anyway. So
Really
we
good
got,
point.
We got
At
that.
125 miles an hour, LaVey's Mercedes collides and blows up.
Oh, shit.
God, we don't need the music.
Like 85.
A few ghastly seconds, death wipes out whole families. LaVey is killed before his wife's eyes, and some 70 spectators with him.
There's burning
Among the
bodies.
Frantic survivors seek their friends.
Oh my gosh.
The Mercedes
That's
was
not
made
fun.
partly of magnesium alloy, which blazes like a furnace. Lance Macklin's Austin Healey, hit by the doomed car before it crashed, is wrecked, but miraculously Macklin is unhurt. While firemen fight the blaze, the race goes on.
What?
Most of the vast crowd know nothing of the tragedy.
They finished the race.
Track marshals flag down drivers as they pass the Holocaust.
Oh my God.
Doctors, priests, uninjured survivors do their best. But 79 men, women, and children are dead or dying in the worst disaster in motor racing history. The Mercedes team...
Oh my gosh.
So then how long did Mercedes took a long sabbatical, and then the guy who caused the Austin Healey kind of caused it.
The
but
driver?
He lived, yeah.
Oh boy.
But I think he died recently after the crash. I think
The
if
race
the story
went
tells.
on.
And they finished the race.
And that's a real stiff upper lip by the rest of the crowd.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
everyone's
some
just
people
kind
are in
of-
the section like, no, could you put the flames down? I paid a lot
Yeah.
of money on this race.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money for this ticket. Jeez.
That
I
was
could
tough
see a
stuff.
few people going like, whose beer is that?
Have you seen these beer prices?
They're not gonna finish it.
This beer's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think I hit off that. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Jesus.
the guy who was in Austin Healey. I mean, that's where we got it. All right, you can bring it home, Gina Grad.
You
but
got
I'm
it.
curious.
I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
There's a line of 5,000 women waiting to blow me on a daily basis.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
The Beekram guy, I wonder what he's got to be exiled,
You were
right?
so into that dude.
Well, I think there's a way to. You take a guy like Wagner. You
Yeah,
know what I
well,
mean? Like,
not at my wedding.
I appreciate the music.
Yeah.
I don't agree
With your
every
stance.
every move he made politically, but I can still
But
step
you
back
appreciate
and
his yoga
appreciate.
moves.
We're talking about Woody Allen earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
So what's the difference between Woody Allen and the Bikram yoga guy?
I think Woody would hate that question.
Braveheart's still a great movie.
That's right.
That's right. Guys. Throw out.
Excellent film. So Mercedes returned 32 years later.
Oh, wow.
After the crash. And the guy who drove the Austin Healey, did we figure out? Did he get
his fate?
cursed? I want to give a plug. Dawson's doing stand-up this weekend, right? Saturday night, 8 p.m., the Glendale Room. And guess where? Glendale.
Yeah, I get like a 10-minute set Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
And you are so goddamn funny, Dawson.
Yeah.
I sent him video from the sea legs because I was backstage filming him. And I said, sorry that I'm laughing all over this, but like it's really good.
Yeah, so go out and support one of our own. That'll be, again, this Saturday, the Glendale Room. Also, I'm doing stand-up. Just go to amcroll.com. We're coming to Denver, and we're coming to Springfield, Missouri. We're coming to San Diego. And speaking of San Diego, Mic Drop Comedy Club, Dustin Nickerson's going to be there. What happened to the guy who was driving that Austin Healey? Come on. It's out there. It's knowable. We can do it. Did he die shortly thereafter?
I believe so. He decided to retire after being involved in another fatal crash after that.
This guy.
Jesus Christ, he was involved in
Final
another
Destination.
fatal crash.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, that was the curse, I guess. It was another fatal crash. So
Yeah,
he
and
wasn't
then,
killed.
yeah, and I'm seeing his Austin Healey 100 was sold in '69 for $2,608 in 2020, so 155 pounds back then. And then, but then in 2011, it was estimated to raise 800,000 pounds before the auction, but sold for 843.
That Austin Healey, the weird kind of not Al Capone, Dillinger's death car or whatever, like that thing would
got a
sell
history.
for a lot. All right, Dustin, let me give you a plug. Book, How to Be Married, a hilarious guide to a happier, one-of-a-kind marriage, and that'll be available June 7th on Amazon. The podcast, Don't Make Me Come Back There, is available wherever you listen to finer podcasts. VOUCH VAULT is our good friend, Jay Chandrasekhar. Until next time, it's Adam for Jay and Dustin and Gina and Bald saying mahalo.
Just had a friend that like I would skate with, and he had a car, so he was a good friend to skate with, because when you skate, you have to skate to that location. And he had a car, and he invited me to church one day, and I got there, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are so much nicer here. All the adults are kind, and the kids seem to be nice, and they all encourage each other to make good decisions.